It's a, no, a long term, but it is a 360.
Does anybody have any owls?
Mhm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is creepy. It is creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it moving.
All right, live. All right, thank you everybody for coming to the Violence Prevention Task Force meeting. Today is February 18th, 2025. The time is 5:56 p.m. Today present, I'm gonna have the task force members go around and just give their names, and we'll take attendance, and then we'll move into the agenda.
All right. Melody Harkness, present.
Andrea Nicolai. Cam Hughes.
Katrina Alexander.
Randall Thomas.
All right, we also have present Councilmember Tom Hoey. Myself is Shaniqua Jackson, City Clerk, and I have Deputy City Clerk Demetra Brown. All right, so due to the fact that we don't have quorum just yet, I'm just gonna briefly go over what the agenda was going to be for this evening. We do have one member of the public. Do you want to provide public comment or just observe for tonight?
There is an option for public comment at the end of the meeting.
Yes,
If
there
you
is.
decide, having listened to us, you have something you would like to say at the end, there is that option as well.
Yes.
Yes. Wait till the end?
Yes.
Got it. Wait to see. No problem at all. All right, so I just wanted to provide all of you an update. We are actively looking for a coordinator. We are in we're heading into the second phase of interviews with 2 candidates. I received their writing samples today. I'm gonna send those out to Councilmember Hoey. If Councilmember Hoey directs me to send them to the task force, I will do that. I feel it's important to have them involved in this process as well. But I will defer to, your direction on that. Following the written, or the writing samples, thank you. I believe we're gonna go into a second round interview phase, with the hopes of coming to a decision before the March 18th meeting. Okay, with that, there should be for the record, we have Eric Thompson, not council member, sorry, I'm gonna promote you. The Violence Prevention Task Force member, I'm gonna have you sit here at the table.
Good, all right.
We'll go into, like I said, second round interviews with the 2 candidates. We are still actively seeking applicants as well, just to make sure that we are doing our due diligence and actively looking for the most qualified coordinator to lead the task force. Unfortunately, because we're still down one person, we can't ask any questions.
Making out Diana real quick.
Yes, you know her, tell her to hurry up.
Yep. Or at least I can ask.
Talk to me after. So that's where we stand with the coordinator position. There is one minor change that we have to do for the bylaws, and that goes into the fact that council made an adjustment to the number of members on the task force. We are down to 13. We can have actual 13 members to the task force. So we just have to make that update to the bylaws, and then once that update is made, we could actually pass the bylaws out, and they'll be official for the task force.
Can you include a list of current task force members? I don't
Yes.
need to list them off now,
I'll send that out to you, absolutely,
Perfect,
yep,
thanks.
so I'll send that out. That was an easy question, I'm sorry.
I
It wasn't
No
a
question.
statement.
Information.
It was a suggestion too,
Right.
yes, I got you. Where we at? Oh, we also need to start thinking about who the chair, the co-chair, and the secretary would be, since we did lose our chairperson for the task force. Pretty much the task force is in a revamping stage. So I would encourage, any and all of you to, if this is something that you're interested, to step up to the table to be the chair, co-chair, or secretary. I know.
Yeah, we did have
We
some
did.
of those, but I don't know if we want to.
Do
you still wanna stay where you are?
Secretary?
Well, I was secretary, she was.
I mean, I'm fine saying
Okay.
vice chair.
Yours, okay.
I would nominate Eric to be chair.
Yeah, I was working on a couple of things.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll keep so we just need to find a chair. If we're gonna keep the same. And Chair, Ken, you said you were the secretary.
So I guess when you send out that list of violence task force members, is it possible to share a description of the chair's responsibilities?
Sure.
To the existing members?
Does the working groups have a lead? Like, we can't say chair because of,
Because of open, yeah,
but maybe a lead or something to lead the meetings?
I would defer to the current members that are here. I'm not too sure,
Sure.
because I didn't attend any of those meetings.
Okay. And we can't ask questions.
Right.
We'll get it.
We'll get
We can do
there.
it individually. Maybe I'll send out an email to folks just to get an idea. And just while we mentioned about, we have brought the number of members down. There is, in the equity agenda, there is no set numbers for the task force. You know, it could be 5, it could be 10, but we're trying to get something that'll work for everybody, because I feel terrible to bring in, and if we don't have a quorum, we're not getting anything done. So thank you for coming. I mean, I can't thank you enough on a night like tonight to come down to City Hall. Thank you.
Yeah. I did send out the crime board reports, the ones that we received for January and February so far. I will continue to send those out to you. If they come all in one email, forgive me. Wear multiple hats, but I will make sure to get them out to all of you. I think what else? Data collection, Councilmember Hoey, I've also asked Councilmember Kimbrough to help out with the data collection from APD and from the school district, so we can all have the most recent data. And if there's any other data that we need to collect, I'll work with council members to get that. Or if, you guys have any information, I would say just share it within the committee. Okay.
Speaking of the school district, the equity agenda does point out we have to have a member
Yes.
from the school district, so we went on that also. We had, at the first meeting, we had somebody, and then,
He's not in the district
He's
anymore.
not in the district.
oh, okay. You're on top.
Secretary knows a lot of things.
Yeah. That's what she said.
I take all the notes.
Oh, well, he's not right.
That was the agenda this evening. I don't know if any other members have anything that you want to share. But I just want to encourage you guys just to continue to, I guess, come out. We're gonna get it together. We are actively working to make sure that the task force does, not fall apart, and we continue to move forward. And we want to move forward with the core group that's going to actually, be committed to do the work.
May I offer a comment?
You can overcome it.
I'm like, yeah. If there is an opportunity to do an exit interview with the former coordinator, I think that would be a useful way to learn.
Okay. I will say that I did do that.
Okay.
I think it just came down to, because the position is a very new position, there was no blueprint on what to actually do with the position. And some people, it's challenging to still take the lead on stuff like that. And she did, from my observation, she did the best that she can do to even get the task force developed. Because we weren't here before, she got here. So she did one heck of a job doing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think the hours too, the late nights was kind of, because we communicated when she left. I begged her, please stay. Please.
As far as data goes, I was talking with the the chief of APD's doing for a completely different reason. We're just talking about stuff. He mentioned taking a look at the gun violence task force from a while ago and some of the recommendations that were made related to that.
2012.
2012,
Yeah, so, because that wasn't what we were reviewing as the violence prevention task force. Or is it the same one? So it might be some of the same reports that they had, but, he was mentioning that, so, for those of you who don't know, Chief Tier, he retired, now he's back. So he remembers the things that were happening when he left, and he recommended taking a look at that because he thought a lot of the, or some of the initiatives were embedded in that were things that either had fallen away or have changed a little bit since then. One of the things he specifically mentioned was related to combining the urban grief. So I know urban grief still exists, but I'm not sure how the mission looks compared to what it was. And so he remembers what it was in 2012, and so that combination of the interventionists' time of making sure that there's more to help the community heal after. But that was just what he had mentioned, so I don't want to say that that's not happening now, but that was something that he felt was really important. And I think that does fall very much in line with what we think of for violence prevention, right? That immediate intervention, but also helping the community. So if we can take a look at that, that might be. And then the other one was, I think Trinity Alliance did a community survey recently related to what the community needs, and I would hope that they might be willing to share with you some broad stroke overviews of what they have received. And I know several folks are either associated with or work directly for Trinity Alliance, so perhaps we can have a conversation with them about having someone come and present perhaps
Yes.
next time or something like that to get us beyond, like, the official statistics are very important. But I don't think knowing, how many murders there were gets us to the root cause of what's going on and helping address what's going on in the community. We know that better than anyone. And so I think those other avenues for getting information would be really, really useful. And I think they did something recently.
Do you have contact for Trinity Alliance? Good.
She's right there.
Let me clarify. Sure. SNUG is a branch of the Trinity Tree.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't realize.
In terms of urban grief, they're alive and well.
Yes, they are.
They're right above us on the 5th floor.
Right, and I knew they were embedded under Trinity Alliance, so I wasn't sure, he's only been back for a little while, right? So he's just thinking about the things that he felt were very impactful in 2012, and that was one of the things that he specifically mentioned, so.
I like the fact that he's thinking in that.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Because
that's,
I had a great relationship with David Soares and Chief Hawkins. And I would hope to have the same relationship with the two new individuals.
yeah, I don't know if you saw, Lincoln then just did a ride along with
He did.
APD,
Yeah.
which I think is an interesting way for him to really understand about what's going on in the city of Albany. Of course, he's Albany County, not Albany City, so his mandate is a little bit different than.
That's great.
If you don't know Chief Cox, he's pretty progressive, and I think he has some really good ideas. We'll hang out for a little bit and not
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, I hope to spend some time with him.
I was thinking, before you mentioned it, I'm glad you mentioned it. Maybe we'll invite him for the March 18th meeting, have him come in and
That'd be great.
so I'll reach out.
And transparency is also something he's very interested in, and so.
And I will say, as far as Lisa Good, she's very active. She's one of our community partners. And if we invite her to sit in, she will come.
Definitely. I was talking to her a few days ago about some grief training for the individuals, that work under me, I work with. It's been traumatic over the last, I'd say, 10 days.
Yeah.
I actually did an interview at Fox 23 last week.
I read it.
And I was actually at CBS today in this unit. And it's so important that we begin to inject some positivity into the situation. There's nothing like the voice of a mother who's screaming after her child is gone. Unceasingly, uncontrollably. So I think it's important for us to remember how important the work we do here actually is. And when you're on ground zero with these families, the fathers, to see the siblings grabbing at the mother who's crying uncontrollably And then know in that moment, there's nothing you can do. This is why urban grief is so pivotal and so important, and other organizations that do their work as well. So I think it's very important that we keep ourselves connected with all of the grassroots organizations that are involved in working on this vicarious trauma that our community is facing.
And I think too, there has to be at least some level of documentation of the work that you do and the work that she does, and that's obviously going to be surface level, but I think to really understand and think about the changes that need to be made to really address the root causes of violence, then we need to have some more information about what people say within there, what people, obviously within confidentiality, what people say to the urban grief folks about what changes they'd like to see made, if there's anything that, from their perspective.
We had a snug survey that I was looking at revamping, and we can take information from there. I think that's the job of the outreach portion of the group. You know what I mean? We got to hit the streets. We got to create these documents and survey and ask the questions that need to be asked. And we can come back with the data that is one statistical from the bodies that we work with, but also from the community.
Absolutely. And I think that's also where we can think about, people at the University of Albany to help, facilitate surveys and do that kind of research. We've got a very strong program right there in criminal justice that could, facilitate that, do some of the analyses, and we kind of partner together so that it's people with lived experience combined with statistics that make it even more impactful.
Oh, without a doubt. Great.
You need a referral for that grief provider, I got one for you.
Wonderful. That's what we need. We need all hands on deck because the enemies of their progress are all in. Between us, I was aware of the influx of weapons that came in Albany. There was a rap group that I know of, and I saw a video they made. I know the kids involved, and they had way too many guns. I mean, all types of exotic clips, 50-round drums. It was terrifying to see this particular group that I know so well. I can show you pictures of me and the kid, and you saw me and him get over at a park, so we enjoying each other. I picked up from probation. Make a long story short, we were doing the investigation on trying to get to the root of where it all came from, and we found out a lot. Another kid that I know sounds like he went to Atlanta or Georgia and picked up a bunch of weapons. But to make a long story short, in hands reaching him, trying to get him to not make any more decisions in that area and in that kind of way, and at the same time get some of these guns off of the street. Not in the police kind of way, but I mean, I've had kids that put their gun down and said, I don't want to use it no more. And that's the approach that I'm utilizing at this point. But it's very traumatic what our community is going through right now. So a lot of people who are hurt, a lot of the people who were shot and were shot at over the last few days, I call Albany small, so everybody is connected in small ways. So the work we do here is very important, especially leading up to the summer, because we know it's going to be that cyclical seasonal uptick.
Councilman, did you have a comment?
No, I'm flabbergasted about the number of guns that are out there.
And the video, as we were trying to disseminate it, because I'm also a gang specialist, so I can look at the video and see the hand signals. I can connect it to the gang that's involved, and it looked like they were going at it against a Detroit gang called NSB. Long story short, they pulled down the video, the person that put it, so I couldn't get a chance to go into it as deep as I wanted. So I caught it the first day it came out. By the third day, they pulled it because it was right after the shootings.
That's another thing to think about too, Albany is Albany, but there is Troy, and those do influence each other. So
Very much.
when I think about
Schenectady too. but
other,
whole county
other
distribution.
places to get data and information about how things are moving, less formal sentence, right? Recognizing that Troy and Schenectady might have some information that's useful to us as well, or some ideas that might inform what we're doing, that might be a good place to look.
Definitely. It's all interconnected.
And if we get the chief in, maybe he can talk about the Crime Analysis Center. I know that they do monitor social media and can see if stuff is going on between Schenectady, Troy, and us. So I think that's going to be the next step, is have him come in the next meeting.
It's definitely going on. Definitely. And the kids in the video probably range between the ages of 13 and 16, it wasn't a kid never be older than 17. And so we dealing with immature minds with powerful weapons, right? And I'm looking, we're going to start reaching out to that particular area a lot more, South End. And business is closing left and right. I mean, you know, these kids don't got a lot to hold on to. So Hoffman is about to be renovated, so they won't even have that as a space. So we're looking at bringing Trinity's gym into a more prominent space, team nights, different things to give kids an opportunity. At the team night, you also can come and this is my idea. You can have like a job station where we can help you with resumes and help you with job applications, you know, to make the moments where they can be safe and be kids also be a time where they can progress and self-discover and begin to look at the 3 E's, you know, either education, entrepreneurship, or employment.
The library is planning a whole slate of programming for spring, summer. I mean, we program all season long, all year long, I should say, for teens, tweens, little kids, you know. These are programs they're always free, always open to whatever age group we're programming for. And yeah, I'm worried about the kids who are afraid of the kids with the guns, who don't have guns themselves, who are now arming up with like steak knives. Yeah, but to go back to the positive, yeah, we're always focused on positive programming, whether it's a movie that you can come and see for free, a craft, hands-on, you know, something that you're making with your peers. That's what the call was from the community too. We did a community survey about what programming Albany wants to see in the libraries, and what came back were hands-on programs for teens and tweens, and that's what we're focused on. Book clubs too, for teens and tweens. Now, I'm not sure how you sell a teen or tween on a book club who might not be inclined that way, but we're building it, you know? And we're starting by focusing on the really young kids, because the whole idea is to encourage families to read together from a young age, and then they're more likely to want to do the programming that involves literacy and exchanging ideas and civil discourse later.
Can they use their phones for like reading? Is there ways to download?
100%, yeah.
Okay.
Libby is the free app.
There's an app.
Libby is the free app that everyone here should have on their phone. I'm not going to guilt anyone if you don't have it, but it's a free app that allows you to download library content, whether it's audiobooks or ebooks. It's all free, of course.
How do you spell that?
Libby is Libby. Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
you can find it in any Android Play Store or Apple Store.
And it's time to get relentless about getting that message about what you're doing to the public, to the kids.
Summer reading is coming. Summer reading is coming.
I mean, we talking QR codes. I can have kids make a rap song about some of the things they're doing right now. We can get that injected into the system. I mean, we got to really start thinking out the box and meeting where they at, because the information, I find myself to be a bridge builder. What you got going on is great, but if they don't know,
Yeah.
then you can't achieve the greatness of the program, and they can't benefit in the greatness of it. So we got to be relentless about how we build the bridges between the resource and those that need it the most.
Yeah, and people talk about community spaces, the need for community spaces. And we're a great platform, and we have 7 locations throughout the city. We have community rooms in every single one of those locations, study rooms, and we're constantly partnering with organizations that bring kids in, whether it be the Red Bookshelf or YouthFX, we've partnered with every possible nonprofit in the land, and we're willing to continue to explore all of those opportunities. I mean, it's a democratic space, our space.
Definitely.
That reminds me about another thing that we had talked about wanting to do is getting a better handle on role of the community serving agencies, which is extensive, don't get me wrong, but to have a better idea of what all is available for people, and then thinking about, kind of understand how you're marketing this is available to folks, because if they don't know, then they can't go, right? And, the different ways of doing things like social media that has shifted a little bit here and there, and so, seeing how the city of Albany can do a marketing campaign around, this is what we have, and this is what you can do with it.
We need to bring back PSAs,
And they're free.
right? Because the same ones that would be free on you know, the legacy media. Now we got the 24-hour rotation of social media to really pump it. There was a time when you didn't see that commercial, you didn't see it. If you didn't see Nancy Reagan saying just say no, then you didn't see it. Not that they should say no, but right, exactly. So yeah, I think we need to bring ideas old and new, and really be experimental about our approach, and not afraid to fail.
I think it'd be amazing to have like a young influencer who can just churn out YouTube videos or whatever, TikTok, whatever. I'm not in any of it, but if that one sensation could, be the spokesperson for some of these wonderful programs that are going on throughout the city, wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, when has Albany considered hiring an influencer? I don't know. Maybe.
The school district, we might be able to, because that's, I know they have classes in it. So if we did have the school district get more involved in, we had asked before about having students be part of the task force. So we're going to have to really push that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I did notice it should be youth from the communities that are impacted at these meetings. If we're having any kind of difficulty getting that individual, I have no problem with finding them and bringing them here. Personally.
All right, did you want to provide comment now?
It's like,
I think we've come to the end of the meeting.
A ton of comment, Terry,
You can come up to the table.
but I don't want to
I'm gonna have you state your name.
offend
For the
anyone
record.
or make waves because I'm new. No. John Wafer, owner of Trimmages Barbershop right at the block 262 Washington Avenue. Also, run the barbering program at Albany High School. So, listening to everything that has been said, I think I might have some value here. Snug.
Yes.
Gun spelled backwards. Tremendous amount of gun activity here in the city, everywhere, worldwide. Right, guns are way too accessible to anyone and everyone. How can we, me, you, get those kids you're talking about that are on TikTok videos that have, as you said, 50 or more guns, clips, You know that. How can we stop that? Albany is small. Everyone knows someone or someone else. As a barbershop owner, you don't come to True Images, but you go somewhere. Automatically, I'm going to assume I know someone in that shop that you cut their hair, being a business owner for in the industry over 30 plus years, 29 years this coming August at True Images, have had dozens of people within the shop go and do their own thing that are working now. Saying all that to say, a couple of years back, I can't remember the young person that got killed right kind of in front of where Bricks is. Came down, sorry if I'm being long-winded. Came down to, I think, empty garbage or something that Sunday, or maybe it was like, no, it was Sunday. And there must have been thousands of people in the street. Double parked, you could only go up Central Avenue single file. And if I could identify 10 faces I knew, and I'm like, where am I? Like, there's so many people, we call Albany Smallbany, so many people in the community that I don't know, right? But this is home. Saying all that to say, these guns that are out here in the hands of way too many people, someone knows them. If I don't know them, you know them, maybe you know them. someone's getting a haircut somewhere. If it's not with me, it's with Bricks or if it's Wills or this, that. So we had a little meeting with Chief Hawkins and a couple of people from the community, other barbers. So how can we partner up? And I'm talking to him directly, but you all are invited to have that person that you can bring here personally. I work in the school district. These kids talk about OSB all the time. And I'm like, this is way too common, way too easy, way too familiar that picking up a gun and pointing it at you and shooting you, I could care less or don't think of the long-term effects of it. But we know who these kids are. We know where they live, we know their family, we know everything about them. The moment a gun is used in the community, within seconds, it's viral, it's here, there, everywhere, everyone's making a video or talking about it, spreading it. So the frustration is, well, we've got a gazillion different organizations, a gazillion different people involved to try to address the situation, but yet it's still progressing. So my plea, my question, my concern, can I be of service to this organization? One, how can you and I directly link up to make Snug, make the barbershops, make the community a safer place, more connected, where I will know those thousands of people, I'm exaggerating, but those many faces in the community that I don't see or know, and they don't know me, but I've been here all my life. So I overheard you say we need a board member from the school district. I'm just listening and I'm like, check, 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 check. How can we make this happen? Because and this is, I'm not interested in lip service, right? Talk, come and have a meeting. And I know for the sake of order, you gotta have this, that, and agendas and all that. But then we're gonna leave here and God forbid something happens tonight, you know, how do we stop that? Or tomorrow, or next week? As you said, somebody's out, it's getting hot out here, it's gonna be crazy. It's like it's already a given, it's already expected, it's like a normal, we're used to it. It's like, oh well, yo, that's crazy, right? Yeah, it is crazy that we're living and tolerating this behavior every single day.
Can I answer?
Absolutely, please.
I would say toleration is a strong word. Your initial statement, and I do appreciate everything you're saying, brother, and I think you already found your niche, man. We need somebody from the school board. You already in there like
Well, I'm on the school board.
Oh, I mean, well, we know somebody from the district.
From the district.
Yeah, so you in there like swim with. Now, to address what you said prior, you gotta remember, for every 100 people in America, there's 121 guns. There's over 400 million guns in America and 330 million people. It's more guns than people. That excess creates access. There's no putting the toothpaste back in the tube. And the capacity in which I work is not a political one where
I'm not coming at you, by the way.
no, brother. I want you to come to me this way. Oh, I do. And anybody else calls themselves stepping up to the mantle of doing this work, because they must be held accountable. Other than that, there's a lot of other things to do in this work. So I appreciate what you're saying. I'm with you. Lip service is not going to cut it. In my mind, the whole goal of the Violence Prevention Task Force, beyond what we can just do personally, is to consolidate ideas to be able to create a plan that we can push forward to the others who even have more power to administer it. Yet not relinquish or relieve ourselves of our personal responsibility to every day be the best citizens we can, to every day be the best educators we can, because everyone's an educator. You educating them in, it's just, the only thing is what you're educating them towards.
Correct.
right? Everybody gonna do the time, the question is where you gonna do the time,
Mhm.
right? Which is what I tell my young people all the time,
Mhm.
right? I'd rather be visiting you in college than visiting you in jail. I'd rather you be able to come home and visit from the military than having your girlfriend have to come visit you,
Mhm.
all right? So with that being said, we gotta meet kids where they at.
Mhm.
It's a new game. It was a time where, chewing bubble gum in class and sneaking in with a magazine was the thing. Now we got kids sneaking in with trying to sneak in with guns and they on a whole nother level. So we gotta think on another level. But not on another level of deeper penalty and deeper admonition. We gotta think on a deeper level of compassion because these kids are hurt.
Mhm.
These kids are doing the things because they hurt and they feel like adults aren't listening to them. And so therefore, those trust issues have had them, in a lot of cases, shut down on us. That's why we don't know who they are. How often do we walk up to them and talk to them? How you doing? What's going on? How's your day? What's right with you? As opposed to what's wrong with you? How often do we invest ourselves? We say kids don't listen, but how often do we listen to them? Just honestly. Right? And so, in my mind, that is the seed and the nexus at the same time. We all want the same thing. For our kids to be healthy, for our kids to be prosperous, and for our kids to be safe.
Mhm.
And the ironic part is that's what they want for themselves. I was in Berkshire Farms and we did a program and we asked kids 3 questions. First question was, how do you see yourself? Great answers. Second question was, how do you think society sees you? All the answers went down. And the third question was, how do you wish you were seen? That's where the voicelessness comes in. There's Dr. King that said, riot is the unheard of. So, not just with Snug. I do this with Snug or without Snug. I did this before Snug.
Right.
And definitely intend to do it after. But I've gained a lot of understanding of the techniques in which to apply this work through Snug. And I definitely intend to bring it to the Violence Task Force, Prevention Task Force. And what you bring is important too. We need fire, we need fuel, we need people that will hold people accountable, we need change. So in my mind, let's begin with outreach, right? Through the outreach, then we could bring people in and we could start education. In education, I mean cramming things into their head. Education as an educator isn't drawing out. That's what do the people want, as we were discussing earlier. So I think we have to be more sensitive about our approach. I think we have to be more thorough about our examination. I think we have to be more standing behind more about implementation, not just conversation.
All right. I'm gonna get your email after you got some, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm gonna get your email
Yes.
after the meeting. I'm gonna send you all the information so you can potentially. I'm
No,
just
you
saying,
are
so
on the
you're gonna
force.
be on the task force. So I'm
Thank you.
just- we're just gonna say-
What is?
I'm
What is this sexual? What is this? Because honestly, what's your name? Tessa. I was watching the news. I always watch Channel 13.
Me too.
And I'm like, 5:45. They're having I thought it was for, I guess it is, kind of sort of, about the guns violence that is going on recently. I'm like, let me go down and listen to what's going on. But this violence prevention task force, okay, it's right in front of me. All right, cool, got it.
Well, just to let you know, the Violence Prevention Task Force was drawn up in the equity agenda that passed back in 2019. And in it, there was just a couple of paragraphs talking about that every year we want to have a report that the council can work on, and whether it's implementing programs or getting funding, that we get recommendations from the community how best to deal with violence. And it's not necessarily gun violence. I mean, there's stabbings, there's other type of violence, there's, people getting beat. I mean, but how do we deal with that? Now, we meet monthly, like in a large meeting, but we've split the task force into working groups, which can be done online, like using Zoom. And we have 3 different areas, like outreach, stuff like that, where we split up the members so they can work through these smaller committees and then bring it to the general meetings when we meet. We did have a coordinator that unfortunately had to leave at the end of December, so we're restarting all over again. She had started in June, put the task force together, we interviewed people, so that's where we're at, and we're in the middle of hiring a new coordinator and moving forward, and the goal is to have a report by June, early July, before the violence of the summer really picks up.
I'd also like to say that, incidents of violence are defined as rape, murder, aggravated assault, and robbery, right? And it's been a disturbing uptick in rapes at the end of last year, moving into this year. So we find that violence perpetuates itself in all types of forms. I was at a gun survivors march in Washington, D.C., and everybody had a sign that says, "I'm a survivor of," and then you feel it like, right? Because it's that many types of trauma and violence that we deal with. So and when I look at this, we got to help our young men understand the dangers of toxic masculinity. How can we impart this in the community centers and have information that have young brothers with opportunity to sit down and talk to a mentor, be able to navigate some of these mountains that come along with being a man or come along with being a young lady as well. So I think we got to take a surgical approach to this.
So strengthening community partnerships is something this task force has been having conversations about, but we do have to work within this bureaucratic structure in order to get the work done. And I think that's where one of our challenges lie, is having active community members show up to participate in the process to move things forward. So, you know, we do need community members like you, and to not only be a part of it, but spread the word about like what we're trying to do, because without their presence and participation, we're not going to be able to get any work done.
It's my goal that people will know that Violence Prevention Task Force like they know something. Right? That you should know it. You should know who they are. You should know how to access it. You should know that people are here and they care. You should know it. So that's one of my goals, to make it known.
Okay. Good. All right. Time is now 6:38. I'm going to end the meeting. I'm going to send out some information that I collected from all of the suggestions that we talked about this evening. So within the next few days, you'll have an email from me. And if you need any information from me, please reach out to myself or to Tom, and we'll do the best that we can. And I'll get your email as soon as we're done. Okay.
Next meeting is?
The next meeting is March 18th, 5:45 here in the city, and we'll be right upstairs in the council chambers. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.